My husband looked me straight in the eye and said I was overreacting, so I agreed to the DNA test just to prove him wrong. But when the results came back, the doctor went silent, and that's when I knew something was terribly wrong.
Hi viewer, before we continue, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, thank you.
I still remember the exact moment the doubt first crept into my mind. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, subtle, the kind of thought you try to ignore because even thinking it feels wrong. I was standing in the kitchen, holding my daughter, Ava, while my husband, Mark, scrolled through his phone on the couch. Ava had just turned 2 months old. She was perfect. Soft curls of dark hair, big curious eyes, and a calmness that made everyone fall in love with her instantly. Everyone, except Mark. First, I thought he was just adjusting. Some men take time to connect with their babies. That's what people kept telling me. He'll come around, my mom said. Give him time, my friend Jessica added. So I waited. But as the weeks passed, something didn't feel right. Mark wasn't just distant. He was different. He barely held Ava. When she cried, he would leave the room. And whenever someone commented on how beautiful she was, he would give this awkward smile and quickly change the subject. One evening, my neighbor came over to visit. She took one look at Ava and said, "Oh wow, she's gorgeous. She looks just like you." I laughed softly, but then she added something that made the room go quiet. "She doesn't look like Mark at all though." Froze. Mark stiffened. Then he laughed, a little too loudly. "Babies change," he said quickly. "You can't tell anything this early." But the way he said it, something about it didn't sit right with me. That night, after everyone had left, I brought it up. "You've been acting strange," I said gently. He sighed, clearly irritated. "I'm just tired." "That's not it." He looked at me. "What are you trying to say?" I hesitated, because the thought felt ugly, but it was already there. "You don't seem connected to Ava." His expression hardened. "That's ridiculous." "Is it?" He stood up. "I work all day. I come home exhausted. And now you're accusing me of not loving my own child." "I didn't say that. You implied it." I tried to stay calm. "I just want to understand what's going on." He shook his head. "You're overreacting." That word, overreacting, it hit me harder than I expected. 'Cause deep down, I didn't feel like I was. The next few days were tense. We barely spoke. And the distance between us only grew. Then something happened that made everything worse. I was doing laundry when I found it. A small envelope tucked into the pocket of Mark's jacket. First, I didn't think much of it. But when I pulled it out and saw the logo on the front, my heart skipped. It was from a medical lab. My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside was a document, a DNA test request form. Mark's name was on it. And under reason for test, it said, paternity confirmation. I felt like the ground disappeared beneath me. He hadn't even talked to me about it. He hadn't asked. He had just assumed. When Mark came home that evening, I was waiting, holding the paper. "What is this?" he asked. He froze the moment he saw it. For a second, neither of us spoke. Then he sighed. "I was going to tell you." "When?" He ran a hand through his hair. "Look, I just needed peace of mind." "Peace of mind?" My voice shook. "You think I cheated on you?" "I didn't say that." "You didn't have to." Silence filled the room. "I just want to be sure," he added quietly. I stared at him in disbelief. "We've been married for 4 years, Mark." "I know. And you think I would do something like that?" "I don't know what to think," he muttered. That broke something inside me. Not just anger. Something deeper. Betrayal. The fact that the man I loved didn't trust me. "You really believe I'm capable of that?" I whispered. He didn't answer. And that was answer enough. So I made a decision. "Fine," I said. He looked up. "You want a DNA test?" My voice steadied. "Let's do it." A week later, we went to the lab together. The entire process felt surreal. Cold. Clinical. Like our marriage had been reduced to a test result. They took samples from Mark, from Ava, and from me. And then we waited. Those days were the longest of my life. Mark barely spoke, barely slept. Every time I looked at Ava, I felt a mix of love and heartbreak. Because no matter what happened, she didn't deserve this. Finally the call came. The results were ready. We sat across from each other at the kitchen table as I opened the envelope. My hands were shaking. Mark watched me closely. Nervous, I scanned the document quickly. Then I stopped. My eyes widened. And for a moment, I couldn't breathe. Because the result wasn't what either of us expected. Slowly I looked up at Mark. "You were wrong," I said. Relief flooded his face instantly. "I knew it," he exhaled. But I shook my head. "No," I said quietly. "You don't understand." His smile faded. "What do you mean?" I swallowed hard. "The test says." Pause. Because even saying it out loud felt unreal. "The test says you're not her father." The silence that followed was suffocating. Mark stared at me like he had misheard. "That's not possible," he said immediately. I pushed the paper toward him. "Read it." His hands shook as he picked it up. His eyes scanned the page. Once. Then a third time. "No," he whispered. "This is wrong." Felt numb. "I didn't cheat on you." He looked up, panic rising. "Then how?" "I don't know." Snap. Ava stirred softly in her crib, sensing the tension. We both turned toward her instinctively, then back at each other. "This doesn't make sense," Mark said, running his hands through his hair. "There has to be a mistake." I nodded slowly. "Yes, because there was only one explanation. This means something happened at the hospital." Mark froze. The realization hit him. "A switch," he said. My heart pounded. "They must have switched our baby." Without wasting another second, we grabbed Ava and drove straight to the hospital. I held her tightly the entire ride. Because whether the test said she was ours or not, she was my baby. No piece of paper could change that. When we arrived, everything moved quickly. We explained the situation. Showed them the test results. First they were skeptical, then concerned, then serious. Within hours, they began an internal investigation. They checked records, footage, nurse logs, and then they found something. Mix-up. 2 babies born within minutes of each other. Same last name, same ward, same nurse on duty. My heart sank. Mark looked like he was going to collapse. "This can't be happening," he said. But it was. The hospital contacted the other family, arranged a meeting, and the next day, we came face to face with them. The other mother was holding a baby girl. Baby who looked exactly like Mark. Same eyes, same nose, same features. Tears filled my eyes instantly. "That's her," Mark whispered. "And this," the other woman said softly, looking at Ava, "is ours." The room was filled with emotion, confusion, heartbreak, because in that moment, we all realized the truth. We had been raising each other's children for 2 months, 2 months of bonding, 2 months of love, 2 months of believing these babies were ours. And now, we were being told to switch back. I looked down at Ava. Tears streamed down my face. "I can't," I whispered. Mark looked at me. "We have to." But my heart refused. Because she wasn't just a baby. She was my baby. The one I held. The one I sang to. The one I loved. The other mother started crying too. "I don't know how to do this," she said. Neither did I. But in the end, we made the hardest decision of our lives. We switched them back. And as I handed Ava over, it felt like my heart was being ripped out of my chest. Months later, life slowly began to settle again. Our real daughter was home with us. Loved. But things between Mark and I were never the same. Because even though the truth came out, the damage had already been done. He had doubted me, accused me, and forced us down a path that changed everything. One night, as we sat in silence, He finally spoke. "I'm sorry," he said. I looked at him, and for the first time, I told the truth. "I forgave you," I said quietly. "But I'll never forget. 'Cause sometimes, it's not the truth that breaks a relationship. It's the doubt." If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next one. Bye.